Okay, this video is called Name a Bigger Prostitute Than Joe Rogan, because you can't. This guy, he's just waiting for the government to move you off your land, and he is pretending to be a nice person. He's pretending to be an enlightened person. He's telling you about all these things you should look into and how to open and expand your mind. But really, he is also growing angry that people are figuring out the truth. This guy has exclusive access to Neil deGrasse Tyson in some cases and has the gall to tell the flat earth movement that we're the ones who aren't communicating. He is a gaslighter, a narcissist with, at this point, psychopathic tendencies. Unless he is just, maybe he's just pumping himself full of drugs because he can't face how big of a prostitute he is at this point. But just keep in mind that his first big break in television was news radio, where his character was a janitor slash conspiracy theorist. Now, do you look at that and say, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist like me? Or do you say, oh, even that was a form of gatekeeping because we're dismissing the guy, we're putting him in a closet, and we only bring him out every once in a while to laugh at the ridiculous stuff he's saying? Because even the flat earth was true at that time. So think about the matrix that those people lived in during the time of news radio. Think about Phil Hartman working along Joe Rogan in that office. Think about the Talmud. Think about Brian Callen, the racist, doing his stand-up comedy, doing his Mad TV appearances. Think about Joe Rogan clamoring for paychecks. Meanwhile, the earth is flat. Phil Hartman is murdered, and these people just get to show up to work every day and look like enlightened, useful idiots. Joe Rogan is one of the laziest gatekeepers. As far as Neil deGrasse Tyson appearing on a show countless times and them agreeing on how to engage the flat earthers, not to talk to them, listen to what he's about to say. His body language, he's obviously high. His hands are like between his legs. But still, this guy, is he not the biggest prostitute that you've ever seen? Like he's a bigger prostitute than the androids in Westworld. You know what I mean? I actually feel for the androids in Westworld. I feel for most prostitutes in most movies. You know, like think of Jodie Foster in Taxi Driver. You know, you feel for these characters. Joe Rogan, I see his face constantly, and it's just ignorance, willful ignorance at this point. And then he gets to cover it up and mask it as enlightenment. He gets to come off as this guru, you know, like, let's be open-minded, let's listen to everybody. Just listen to this.
Wow.
That's as close as we get. 62 to 1.8 million years ago is the actual normal thought of range.
Even though I don't believe it,
Cenozoic area.
I tried to keep an open mind about this flat earth thing, and I said...
Try to keep an open mind.
Well, I kind of wanted to hear the other side's argument just so I can understand.
You know what I think it is, man? I think it's just a lack of communication. I think what we need is, like, I know Neil deGrasse Tyson had this conversation with B.O.B., right? That's the rapper's name. We kind of explained it to him. B.O.B. dissed him.
There was no conversation. B.O.B. had a photo of two cities behind him while he was on a mountain, showing that there was no curvature between two cities that were 16 miles apart. Each mile, there would have been curvature. That's what B.O.B. was saying. The earth was perfectly flat behind him. Neil deGrasse Tyson took that, twisted it, perverted it, gaslit B.O.B., and said, B.O.B. says the city behind him we shouldn't be able to see it. That's not what B.O.B. was saying. Is that a conversation? A couple of tweets? Some gatekeeping tweets and going on Larry Wilmore's show? You're gonna toe the party line that Neil deGrasse Tyson is reaching out to flat earthers and having conversations? Where are the other astrophysicists, Joe? You could get 6 astrophysicists together just to shame Eric Dubé or shame me or Mark Sargent or whoever the hell you pick. You could do that. You could organize some event like that. You know, try to do some public shaming, some public hanging of the flat earth people. You know, get Math Powerland, get some astrophysicists. Who knew that it would turn out this way? Just this prolonged, we're just all waiting and the whores expose themselves. You've had Neil deGrasse Tyson on your show countless times talking for hours. You're going to pretend like you guys are the ones reaching out and communicating with us. Oh, okay, sure. And B.O.B., he didn't just hide under a rug after all of that. B.O.B. went on and he reached... No.
A flat Earth support track or something. I don't know. I just think it's just a lack of communication. It's like someone needs to explain to people in a way that doesn't offend their preconceived notions. Because people get this idea that they have the right information about something. They think that something is something. And they get married to that idea. And if you're like Shaq, who just recently came out and said he's married to the idea that the world is flat. It's like...
This is the first time that the world is hearing from Shaq what he believes about the shape of the earth. Whereas you, for about a year, have consistently shown your ignorance, your denial, and your prostitution. You're a bigger whore than those androids in Westworld. The reputation of the androids in Westworld will be higher than yours at the end of all of this. Because this record will go back in history and move forward in history, even if the New World Order comes into play. Even if people are put in concentration camps, this history is documented. What a big whore you've been, and your contribution to gatekeeping genuine people doing genuine science. The janitor, conspiracy theorist of news radio. Why did Phil Hartman have to die?
How much research are you doing?
Don't bait me.
Are you?
Do not bait me.
How much research are the people on the?
Is Andy Dick a flat earther, Joe? Andy Dick, are you a flat earther?
Space station doing? Are they all in on a lie? They're all in on a lie? Is that real, or did you decide that that's real and now you're looking only at things that support that idea in your head, and you're not looking for it through astrophysicists or astronauts or people that study it their whole life who understand it? You're not looking at it through those lenses. That's why it seems like it makes sense. It only seems like it makes sense because you don't know what makes sense. How dare you? Am I baiting?
You are baiting. Problem is, you don't realize how many levels of exposure that you face. Because I think you're the laziest prostitute of them all. I mean, think about the audacity putting on those headphones, putting that microphone in front of your face, and going before the world, whatever shape it is, and trying to mislead people and maintain your reputation as some guru, some open-minded, enlightened guru who can open people up to new experiences. But Neil deGrasse Tyson comes in your studio and you guys can just shoot the shit for 2 hours, pretend to be these enlightened beings who listen to all points of view, and you consistently maintain the party line for a year and expect no one to notice because you just leverage the size of your audience against that and expect to gaslight us for the rest of history. You think Shaq's going to be the last celebrity who comes forward? Shaq mentioned the earth is flat over a weekend, and you think you're more enlightened than Shaq because he said it one time? You've been talking your mouth this entire time. Brian Callen, you put him in his place, right? Because he was making the Jews look bad. That's what you hate about Brian Callen's pride, is that he shows it. You bury your pride. You hide it. So we can be thankful for Brian Callen being a little metal detector. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, there's one. Where's yours, Joe? Where's your pride? Where are you hiding it?
I'm not
Bro,
even,
you're
folks.
baiting me on the
I
shack
think
thing.
we all are just we're all silly, all of us on both sides.
No.
It's not even just that the people that believe the Earth is flat.
I've got 3 full passports with stamps.
I feel for the people that believe it because I think someone didn't tell them correctly.
Oh, you pity us,
I
Joe?
did an international flight where I flew for a while and then the plane banked.
And turned
And turned.
around. It doesn't work that way. It's like a black hole. You hit the
Yeah.
wall, the ice wall, and then you go back in time to the moment when you're born.
Is the
You
ice
just
wall
live your life over and over again.
Is the ice wall real though?
Yes. No one's been there and
Is
take
that true?
pictures of it, but they can't because of the Illuminati and plus the Jews.
No, what?
You can't just go to the ice wall, dude.
Jamie, I'm asking you as a third party.
You're the biggest prostitute the Jews have, Joe Rogan. Wish Phil Hartman was alive. You prove that you're worth it.